You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN E-mini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things E-mini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro. Joining us today, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon, welcome back. Today is Friday. Yes, it is Friday the 13th, day of October 2023. Friday the 13th. Where did that come from? Why is that a scary, spooky kind of day? I don't know. I haven't bothered to look up the history. But I'm sure you have heard that this business going on in Israel, Hamas has promised today would be a day that would live in infamy for the infidels. So, I don't know, guys. Just pray for America. We, have been allowing an awful lot of unfettered traffic across our southern border at a rate of 1,000 or 2,000 a day. It doesn't take too long to build up an army. So, anyway, happy Friday. Right. Okay. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we're just glad to have you right here, right now. We do 2 live broadcasts every trading day. First live broadcast is our live trading room. Now, that's open from 9:15 a.m. Eastern to 11:30 a.m. Eastern every trading day. That broadcast is reserved for members only and those who are taking their 1-week free trial. If you have not taken your 1-week free trial, you can do so by going to mytradingiq.com. And at the very top of the page, there's a link that says, guessed it, 5-day free trial. Click the link, complete the registration form correctly, please, okay, and completely, otherwise it doesn't go through. And then you don't get the stuff that you're supposed to be getting, and it becomes a huge snafu. So, we're anti-snafuism. So, please, just fill out the form properly. Hit the send button. Then what will happen is we'll get your desktop set up. We'll get your indicators indicating. And if you do that today or tomorrow, but just, don't put off till tomorrow what you can do today. Get it done. And then you'll be ready to join us Sunday night when the market's open. And then you'll have all of next week, Monday through Friday, where you'll have access not only to the live training room, but every resource that all of our lifetime members have access to. You'll have access 5 days. No credit card required. We foot the bill. Our time, our energy, our resources. We invest in you so you can make a well-informed and intelligent decision as to whether or not trading is right for you. We've made it as simple as we possibly can. We've got it down to the point now where basically you just wait for the arrow to appear and enter the trade with a couple of caveats. But you'll learn all that next week if you get signed up for the trial today. If you have any questions or if you have any problems with getting signed up for the trial, call 949-42-EMINI. Nobody in the world has that phone number but us. 949-42-EMINI. That shows that we're serious about the E-minis. And you can always email us, support@cfrn.net. Okay? That will get you into the 5-day free trial all next week. Top of the page, mytradingiq.com. Now, once the training room closes for the day, take a whopping 30-minute break and come back again at 12 noon Eastern for this broadcast. The difference, well, there's quite a few differences, but the main difference is this broadcast is open to the public. Everybody, everywhere on planet Earth with an internet-connected device, every day. True story. Now, there's two different ways to join this afternoon broadcast live. The best way, because you only have to do it once, go to mytradingiq.com. This time, scroll down to where it says afternoon broadcast. Click that link. That registration form should take you about 30 seconds, and then you're done. What will happen is going forward, you'll get an email every day about an hour before this broadcast starts. So at 12 noon Eastern, all you have to do is click the link in the email, and it will automatically log you into our platform where you have access to the question box. This allows you to participate in the discussion, ask questions. So that's the best way. Now, there'll be days that you're out of the office, away from the desktop, but you would still like to join live, you can. And there'll be days you're busy, you can't join live, but you wish you could. Well, we got you covered. It's called our YouTube channel, and it's pretty easy to remember. You already know youtube.com. Just add a /CFRN. youtube.com/CFRN. Now, not only do we broadcast live every trading day on our YouTube channel, but we also archive each and every daily broadcast. Currently, there's over 2,300 daily episodes archived for your educational and viewing pleasure. And if you're new to the world of CFRN, it's a great way to get to know who we really are. Not just today, not just this week, but you can see how we've evolved over the years. You can scroll back 6 weeks, 6 months, a year, 2 years, even more. Just pick a few days at random. Okay, listen in for a little bit. You'll quickly discover the thread of connectivity, the thread of continuity that's woven through everything we do and each and every daily cast. youtube.com/CFRN. So we're going to open with our daily devotional and a word of prayer, as we do every day. But before I forget, let me mention something that I discovered yesterday. Most of you probably remember the TV program Duck Dynasty, the Robertson clan. ones who created the duck calls, and yeah, those guys with the beards. They look kind of like the ZZ Top crew. I never thought about that. But anyway, here's my point. The original show, I think there may be an offshoot show now, but the original show stopped, I think, in 2017. But they have a podcast called Unashamed, where every day they sit, they chat, and talk about the Bible. They will, I think, walk you through the entire Bible over the course of a year. But it's really low-key, conversational. There's no preaching. It's really interesting. And in discovering it yesterday, I also discovered that there was a movie released last week called The Blind. Now, these guys are duck hunters. They made their fortune creating duck calls. And if you've ever been duck hunting, and I haven't, you sit in what's called a blind. So the ducks don't see you, I guess. But the movie is called The Blind, and it's got like 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. And that's a positive thing. And of course, it was a limited release because it wasn't backed by any of the major studios. But if it's playing anywhere near you, if you can go see it this weekend, try to. Because they came in third or fourth place last week, and it was last weekend, and it was on nobody's radar. And if they get a strong showing this week and this weekend, then they'll get an extension for another week or two in the theaters. And then I'm sure shortly it will be somewhere on some cable channel or on the Fox America, whatever that's called. So, The Blind. Google it. Check it out. Watch the trailer. I hear it's really good. Okay. Our devotional this week, last week, and probably into a couple days next week is about faith. Or better said, faith works. It does. Our scripture today is James chapter 4, verses 13 through 17. And I'm sharing with you from the Message translation. Here we go. And now I have a word for you who brashly announce, today, at the latest, tomorrow, we're off to such and such a city for the year. We're going to start a business there and make a lot of money. You don't know the first thing about tomorrow. You're nothing but a wisp of fog, catching a brief bit of sun before disappearing. Instead, make it a habit to say, if the Master wills it and we're still alive, we'll do this or that. As it is, you are full of your grandiose selves. All such vaunting self-importance is evil. If you know the right thing to do and don't do it, that for you is evil. It's James chapter 4, verses 13 through 17. So what we're talking about is arrogance compared to humility. This scripture is more about the implicit attitude of arrogance than the explicit action. It's not literally evil to make plans or to do business. Countless scriptures encourage wisdom in handling finances and in stewarding responsibilities. The warning here is against the false wisdom, worldly ambition, and self-centered confidence in believing that life revolves around us and that we have everything figured out. The sins in this passage are self-reliance and a lack of submission to the will of our sovereign God. The sin is declaring ourselves to be sovereign. This is the lie of the serpent, still tickling our ears. The first sin resulted from the idea that man and woman had the right to question God. That subtle subversion of God's good, rightful authority put us on shaky ground, teetering on self-destruction. It's important to note that in this account of the first temptation, it wasn't necessarily sensual desire that enticed Eve and then Adam. Beauty and pleasure are God's gifts to us. They are part of His perfect design as the Creator. We refer to the blessings everyone can enjoy as common graces: natural beauty, sensory pleasure, and good food, for example. Even the person most violently opposed to God's sovereign rule can enjoy these things to a degree. Christians, however, experience common graces as good gifts from an even greater giver of the gift. The pleasure fuels humble gratitude. In contrast, the pleasure of an arrogant heart terminates with itself as it consumes common graces without gratitude. The original sin was birthed from a desire to be self-sovereign. It challenged the sufficiency of God's sovereignty. The lie we all fall for is that we have the ability and the right to determine what we'll do with our lives without experiencing the consequence of death. The sin of being self-sovereign is taking our lives into our own hands and believing we can be in control. We want to be like God. We want to choose what's right or wrong for ourselves. We don't want to believe that His wisdom should be the standard we live by. He isn't good enough. We deserve more. We can have something better. How's that working? Join me in a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank You for the wisdom found in the book of James, today chapter 4, which reminds us of the uncertainty of life and the need to seek Your guidance in all of our plans and actions. And also, Lord, we pray for the bond between the United States and Israel. We acknowledge the significance of this relationship in a world world filled with political complexities. We thank you for the friendship and shared values that have historically united these two nations. Lord, as we recognize the plans and decisions made at the highest levels of leadership, we recognize the need for your divine guidance. Because sadly, here in America, we seem to be without leadership at the highest level. We seek your wisdom in maintaining and strengthening the bond between the United States and Israel. May our leaders and diplomats act with prudence, seeking peace and security for all parties in the region. Grant them discernment and the ability to navigate challenges and opportunities that this relationship presents. Lord, we pray for the well-being and safety of all people. Protect them from harm and provide wisdom to those who are tasked with making crucial decisions that affect the region and the world. Help us to remember the importance of humility in all of our dealings, especially on the global stage. May our actions be marked by a commitment to justice, mercy, and peace. As we consider the uncertainties of the future, we put our trust in you, the unchanging and faithful God. We ask that the bond between the U.S. and Israel would be a source of stability and cooperation in a volatile world. It's in Jesus' name we believe and pray. And everybody said, Amen. Amen. Okay, let me give you the numbers from around the world. Start here in the U.S. with the cash markets, or the indices as they're called. Currently the Dow's up 118 points. And the NASDAQ is down 118 points. S&P 500 is down 9. The Russell 2000 down 12. In the commodity basket, crude oil up $3.51, trading 86.47 last. That's a gain of over 4.25%. Filled up my daddy van the other day. $90. It's got a 20-gallon tank. $90. Look at gold. Don't know if it's ever shined so brightly. Up $56. And I don't know if it's ever shined so brightly in one day. Probably has. Up $56. Trading 19.3910 last. It's a gain of 3%. Silver up 93 cents. Trading 22.89 last. That's a gain of 4.25%, or almost $5,000 per contract traded. In the Asian markets at the close, Nikkei down 178 points. Shanghai down 19. The Hang Seng down 424, which is almost 2.5%. In the European markets at the close, FTSE down 45. The DAX down 238, 1.5%. The CAC down 101. just shy of 1.5%. So we had a mixed day or a red day in Asia. It was a red day for the UK. And it's a mixed Radio Friday here in the US of A. The Dow being the only one of the major indices in the green. And not by a lot, 129 points. It's not a huge day for the Dow. No, it's respectable. It's not even half of 1%. The NASDAQ, on the other hand, deeply in the red, 115 points. That's almost 1%. S&P red, Russell red. So we'll see where we stand by the end of the session. So there you have it. Those are the numbers. Now we'll go to this. Friday the 13th recap. Tough week for Logic 247. I think probably the toughest week in 271 weeks. Over the last 271 weeks, we've issued over 15,200 individual handcrafted alerts. Of those 15,000 plus alerts, we've averaged 20% or less being stopped down based on a risk profile that we teach all of our passport holders in their unlimited one-on-one mentoring sessions. Now, this recap was good through 7 a.m. this morning. There have been some additional alerts put out, so this will change a little bit by the end of the session, end of the week. Valerie will update the recap. But as of 7 a.m., we'd issued 25 alerts, 3 never triggered. We're still waiting on 1. That gave us 21 actionable alerts, of which 6, or 29%, would have been stopped out based on that risk profile we teach. Tough week. But it is what it is. There's good days and bad days, and good weeks and tough weeks, and that's the truth about trading. Now, the logic alerts are based on current price action. They can come out at 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. Futures trade around the clock, and we have traders around the globe. Their day session is our night session, and vice versa. We also have our original alert service, the concierge trade alerts. And they're a little bit different. They don't come out around the clock. They're posted as a static report shortly after the Globex open each evening. Last night, the Friday session began last night at 6 p.m. Eastern. This report was published at 6:20 p.m. Eastern, 20 minutes into the Friday session. So, this broadcast is open to the public. So, if you're tuned in live and you want to grab a screenshot, you can. If you're watching this after the fact on YouTube, then you can simply hit pause on the video and jot down the numbers that are important to you based on whatever market or markets you actually trade. So the first thing you do when the report comes out each evening is go to the 30-minute chart of the markets you actually trade. We'll use the ES as an example. The first thing you want to do is make note on your 30-minute chart where price was at the time the report was published. It'll always be between these two numbers. Then you want to draw a line in the sand at the long target, line in the sand at the short target. Those will serve as great visual cues to help you stay on the right side of the street. If price gets above the 30-minute BBC, That tells you it's attempting to reach the long target. Price gets below the 30-minute BBC, it's attempting to reach the short target. Pretty simple. Now, with the logic alerts, I look left for you to spot potential obstacles. Previous swing highs, swing lows, that's why logic alerts quite often have multiple targets. The initial target is always designed to help you get your goal for the day. But you'll often have a second target, a third target, a fourth target, and then a final trade to target. On every short alert, the final trade to target is the weekly zone below. On every long alert, the final trade to target is the weekly zone above. Along with learning to look left to spot these potential obstacles, you have to learn how price behaves at a weekly trading zone. Price is always trying to reach a weekly trading zone. From the moment the markets open Sunday night till they close Friday afternoon, price is above the 30-minute BBC. It's trying to reach the weekly trading zone above. Price is below the 30-minute BBC. It's trying to reach the zone below. We've published the zones since December 14th of 2009. They come out Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. And once they're published, carved in stone for the entire week. They don't change in any way whatsoever. All you have to do then is just simply resist the urge to make it more complicated than that. We've worked hard for many years to make it simple, and the first thing a lot of new people do is come in and try to take something very simple and make it complicated. You got to resist that urge. As long as you know which way the wind's blowing, it's pretty simple to reach your goal for the day. So let's look at the daily chart real quick. Okay. Okay, we've been talking for weeks, I don't know, maybe it's even months now, about this head and shoulders pattern. And we're at an interesting point. We got to the 50% fib. Here's the left shoulder, here's the head, here's the right shoulder, here's the neckline. Top of the head to the neckline, from the neckline to the trade to target, which is a previous bullish cross. Interesting. So, we expected a bounce off the 50% fib. Institutional traders watch the daily, weekly, and monthly charts the way you and I watch 30-minute charts, 5-minute charts, tick charts, and range charts. Has to do with account size. When institutions trade, price moves. We provide liquidity. Okay? So our strategy and indicators are not designed to outsmart the institutions with all of their resources, but to simply give us a clear understanding of what the market is doing and why at any given time. And then all we have to do is do exactly what the market is doing long enough to reach our goal for the day. Remember, the market is always right. So our bounce off the 50 brought us to the 38. Every one of these candles is touching 38. Every one of these candles is touching the BBC. When price pulls up to a fib, we expect resistance until proven otherwise. When price pulls up to the BBC or pulls down to the BBC, we expect it to hold until proven otherwise. So we've spiked both the 38 and the BBC, the green line, bull bear cross. Price is above it, we're bullish, we anticipate higher prices. Price gets below it, we're bearish, we anticipate lower prices. higher prices, lower prices. So price right now, we had a bearish engulfing candle yesterday. The Thursday high was higher than the Wednesday high. The Thursday low was lower than the Wednesday low. Bearish engulfing. It's one of the most reliable signals you'll find for a potential reversal, if it's in the proper context. And this is in the proper context. But there's an issue, there always is, and that's right here. Blue and climbing. Red and falling is bearish, blue and climbing is bullish. So for price to continue down back to the 50, eventually the 62, and the completion of the measured move, price first has to overcome blue and climbing. And we've basically got a doji on the day. Still a market looking for direction. On the 30-minute chart, that's where all alerts are created, whether it's the CTAs or the logic alerts. The vertical line separates today, Friday, from yesterday, Thursday. Back here is Wednesday. The zones that you see were published Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. When price drops to a weekly zone, we expect support. When price rallies up to a weekly zone, we expect resistance. When price drops to a zone, we expect support until proven otherwise. And when price slices through a zone like it did here, when that move runs out of steam, price will typically retrace back to the zone it sliced through, consolidate, continue in the direction of the slice, just as it did. So the markets opened last night, and what do we have? Sideways trade. Until about 4:30 this morning, price dropped right to the tick to the short target. When the market finds support, it's going to go look for resistance, which it found up here. Buyers were not committed enough to take us up to the highs that were put in Thursday. So price gets back below the BBC and the weekly trading zone, and we hit the short target. Now we're pulling up to the BBC and red and falling. That's resistance times 2. So I would anticipate another leg to the downside. The Dow, here's where we opened. Pulled up to the zone last night, which we expect to be resistance. We got a drop. Right here. We get back above the BBC, back above the zone. We hit the long target. We don't quite make it all the way to the zone. That shows there's a lack of commitment on buyers. I mean, they're willing to step in and buy up to a point, but then they back off before we hit yesterday's high. So that sends us back down to the zone, through the zone, and we've just kind of got a sideways mess here. Remember, the Dow is the only one in the green based on the hash markets, the indices. On the Russell, here's where we opened last night, pulled up to the BBC, which we expect to be resistance till proven otherwise. That sent us down to the weekly zone. Then we pulled up one more time, put in a slightly higher high, but we did not take out this high by a lot. That sent us back down to the short target and to the zone where the market found support. Now again, resistance, support, resistance, support, support. These are the zones published Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. Once you really start to understand how price flows and how price behaves at a weekly trading zone, the zones will become one of the most important tools in your trading toolbox. Remember, when price drops to a zone, you expect support until proven otherwise. On the NQ, here's where we opened. Below the BVC, blue and climbing, turned to red and falling. That took us down through the zone and to the target. And then we found support at the spot that was determined yesterday as support. That's how price flows, from support to resistance, back to support, back to resistance, over and over again and again. It's a never-ending cycle. So we get back above the BVC, and this high lines up with these lows. We would think that we could get a clean move all the way up, but again, it has to do with a lack of commitment on the part of buyers. And so we've now dropped through the short target once again. And we got another zone down here at 15020. And there's still 3 more zones below that. I don't think we'll visit those this week. It's been kind of a sideways week. Crude came out of the gate, got above the BVC, hit the target, ripped through the zone. Now it's headed for the next zone overhead at 87.15/87.20. Gold. What an incredible move. Here's the bullish cross. We hit the target. We back off just a little bit. And we hit the zone. We consolidate for about an hour and a half. And look at that. That is a huge move in one day for gold. Just as there's a huge move in silver. This window of opportunity we drew in last night during the members only workshop. If you were not able to attend last night, make sure you watch the video over the weekend. If you're a passport holder, then you have access to the Telegram channel. But the window of opportunity we drew during the workshop filled beautifully, hit the target, got a pull back to the BVC, the pullback held, and off we go. Just shy of a $5,000 per contract move. And the last one, the euro, we dropped to the zone, bounced to the BVC, dropped to the short target, and now we're on our way to pull back to the BVC, which we expect to be resistance ×2, because the BVC is right at the weekly zone. So we'll move up, would be resistance, and give us another leg to the downside. Takes us around the world. We're still waiting to see what's going to happen here. The price gets below blue and climbing, then it's the 50, then these lows, then the 62, then these lows, then the previous bullish cross. Michael, welcome.
Yes, I am here. I am here.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Happy Friday. All right.
Happy Friday. The
Ready for me to
13th.
It is Friday the 13th.
Yep, take it away.
Good day. All right. It's a good day. All right, here we go.
All right, looks good.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Friday, the 13th day of October, 2023. If you've not taken a free trial with us and you want to take a free trial with us, go here to mytradingiq.com. Right here is where you sign up for the free trial. When you click on that, it's going to bring you to not this page, this page. Nope, not that page either. Yeah, let me click on it and tell you what page it brings you to. I might need to refresh it. Yeah, okay, it's right. October 16th. I just republished it to make sure I had next week's stuff in it. It's going to bring you to this page where all that we ask for is just this little bit of stuff right here. no credit card required, a couple of drop-down boxes. If you're going to go in these drop-down boxes, choose the right answer, okay? Because if you choose the wrong answer, then you may not ever get any information that you probably want after you take the trial, right? Because you'll be excluded from the list of people who took the trial. I've just been noticing lately that a certain percentage of the people that are taking the trial are saying that they already are partners, so that puts them in a separate list, that they've already taken the trial, so that puts them in a separate list, and the wrong list. So if they want any information about joining, make sure you do that right. The spreadsheet. Here on the spreadsheet, if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you have to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Okay, this is today. Today, as I said, is the 13th day of October, 2023. We made 52 ticks in the NQ. We lost 1 in the Russell, made 22 in crude, and 3 on the ES. That put us at 512.50 on the morning session. Today, it took 27 minutes and 9 trades to get to $1,000. I had opportunities today to get to the goal for the day. The first trade went to it, but I didn't lock it in. And I was looking for more because it was an NQ trade. I wanted to get more than 20 ticks out of it. And it went exactly 20 ticks. So that's what greed does. It took me 9 trades in 27 minutes. We took a total of 19 trades though this morning. So on the month, we're at $5,022. That's over 10 trading days, averaging $502 per contract per 2-hour trading day. On the year now, we've got our goal 191 up to 191 out of 195 days. And that puts us at $86,317, averaging $451 per contract per 2-hour trading day. If you were to quit trading when you get your goal for the day and you were to add 1 contract per month so far this year, you'd only had to work 62.65 hours and you would have averaged $2,386 per hour on the year. Okay, $2,386 per hour on the year. All right. Yeah, so let's get into the trades. We'll start out with gold. What do we do on gold today? I'm sorry, crude. On crude, we had a few trades on crude, not a ton of them, but we had enough. Crude was giving some nice green arrows here. Remember what I said yesterday about just learning how to do one thing. And if you did the one thing, the black line in the green or the black line in the red with green arrows, if you just did that one thing, you'd probably do really well. Black line in the red with that green arrow, black line in the green with that green arrow, that green arrow. That second would have been break even over there. I'll go back to the beginning here of our day. In the pre-market here, black line in the green, that green arrow. That's the goal for the day right there. You don't need to trade anymore after you did that. Our day started right here. That we had a break even on that, and then the next one we took was right in here with the crude, and we picked up 3 ticks on the second one, and then nothing for a little while, and then in here we picked up 18 ticks on this. 19 ticks on this to get us to 22 overall, and that's where we ended up with crude today. Okay, let me see who's in the audience today. I just want to check that out. Okay, so that was crude oil. Now during the break, let's see, did we have anything during the break? We did. We had this one right here, this one right here. This would have been break even. This would have been a nice profit. This would have been break even. This break even. This not a trade. This a stop out. Okay, that's how it would have worked for me. If I took all those trades, that's how it would have worked. But keep in mind, you only need to take the first one. That would have been a nice profitable trade to get the goal for the day. That was the crude oil. Now we'll get on the Russell. Okay, get on the Russell. On the Russell. Let's slide it back here, all the way back to here. All right, so this was the leg length that I was using to try to figure out where things were going to be going with the Russell. and it did eventually get up to this leg length right here, right there, pretty much to the tick, to that leg length. But we didn't take any trades in that direction. We took our first trade right here. It was a short trade on the Russell. We picked up, looks like 1 tick on that one. Okay, then we did nothing for a little while. We had a break even. Then here we picked up 3 ticks to get us to 4. No, somewhere in there, I'm sorry, we picked up 3 ticks somewhere else to get us to 4. And then we had something here to get us to 9, 5 ticks there to get us to 9, and then we stopped out, and that put us at -1. That is pretty much, we had a break even there, but we didn't have any more profitable trades or stop outs on the Russell. We had a break even there, and then by I just didn't take any more trades in here, it looks like. That was it on the Russell. Not to say that there weren't any more trades, but during the break, there was this one trade right here. There was one here. I guess I wouldn't have done that going into the zone. There was one here that I would have done, probably got a little profit, very little profit, going up to the midpoint. It came up to the midpoint, and that midpoint just rejected it several times today. I would have taken this, would have been a break even, and this right here would have taken some profit on that. It would have been a little more than a break even. I don't know how much more, but a little bit more than a break even. All right, and the ES today, we finally got something on the ES. Not a lot, but something. 2 trades on the ES we took. One was right here. We picked up 2 ticks on that. And the other one was right here. And we picked up 1 more tick to get us to +3 on that. We're looking at the ES getting down to this level. You can see it did. And then that level became a resistance area once it got down below it. You see, it became a resistance area. When I was looking at the ES, one of the things we're doing with the ES, we're looking at it on a larger time frame. And let me go look at that with you really quick. What time is it? 12:55. Yeah, I have time to do this. Oh, hang on. I have a window somewhere, and that's going to be a problem in a minute. There it is. Okay. So I said this morning, those of you guys that were in this morning, I said this morning, I thought it was going to go down to here. Did I not say that? And then it was going to retrace once it gets down to there. We can see a retracement, and this area that the first area that I thought we were going to find buyers at this morning, we went right through that. We didn't end up finding buyers, but I said once we get through here, what this right here is the midpoint in the Woo spot. You guys remember me talking about that? Anybody that was in there this morning? It was the midpoint in the Woo spot. And we went right down to that and bounced off it. And now, I mean, we have this whole candle right here. This is an hourly chart. It's not a half-hour chart. This whole candle right here. So a series of candles right here. Well, this is just a huge Woo spot here for it to run back up on. But what I was thinking, if it runs all the way back up to the weekly trading zone, then the black step line is going to cross over the MA1 and it's going to run back up to the BBC. Now, the issue with this is the BBC is right here. By that time, if that happens, by that time, the BBC will be right down here at the weekly trading zone, probably. So it wouldn't surprise me if we find, if we look at this way, a head, a shoulder, a neckline. Now, Dwayne, I'm sure is going to go over all that. If he didn't already, he's going to go over all that. This is on an hourly chart, mind you. So I'm thinking once it does this retracement part of this Woo spot right here, it will probably continue moving down to the zone down here. If it's going to continue moving down, we'll go down to the zone down here, and even through that. It might have a wick that goes down and hits this zone, kind of like this one was over here. But I would look for it to get down to right here. If it's going to go down, then that's where I would look for by the end of the day. Okay, just my thought, if it's going to go down. I covered that this morning too. But anyway, on the ES, that's it for the ES. We'll get into the NQ. We have just a few minutes left here, so we can cover the NQ for you really quick. Hopefully, we can get all the way to the end of the NQ. We didn't have a ton of trades. We had more trades than anywhere else as usual, but wasn't a ton of trades for the NQ today. Okay, so here, our first trade on the NQ was right here. And we picked up 2 ticks on the first one, then 8 ticks on the second one. So we're at +10 for a little while there. We had a break even, another break even. And then we had some news come out. We were able to watch the news. Then all the way through here. All the way through here. We had a stop out there. Finally, we went from +10 to -10 right there. Then I had a +30 on that. So we were back to +20. Then I had a +2. So we got to 22. Then a break even, then a +30. That got me to 52, and I believe that's where I ended trading. Nope, I had one more break even right there. That must be where I ended trading. I guess it is. Yeah, because I ended up talking after we got through this part right here. I think I talked the rest of the session this morning. I did something this morning I almost never do. Day 5, this part right here, the 11 to 11:25, the trading plan, setting goals and moving forward. I actually talked about that. I almost never do, but I did. Anyway. And so hopefully that was helpful to some people. Getting into the break here, we had a green arrow over here that did not go anywhere. That would have stopped you out. We had a green arrow here that would have gotten it right back. Another green arrow here, it did put in a little higher swing, would have gotten it back again. this would have been one green arrow break even, another green arrow profitable, another green arrow profitable, another green arrow profitable, another green arrow break even. That would have been one trade right there. I don't know if I'd have taken that. If I did, it would have been a break even, and I wouldn't have taken any of those. Another one, another one, another one, all profitable. Another one break even probably right there. And then we're on this sideways stuff we got going on right now. And that was this morning with the NQ, being with plus 52 ticks on the NQ this morning. About to jump into live stream here. So if anybody's got any questions, you can type them in right now. All right. I'm going to hit connect on that, and start stream on that. All right. So if you've not taken a free trial with us and you want to take a free trial with us, go out to mytradingiq.com. Go to mytradingiq.com and sign up for the trial. Right there at mytradingiq.com. Right here, mytradingiq.com, sign up for the free 5-day trial. That's the only way you're going to get access to the indicators. Okay. If you do it now, you'll have the indicators over the weekend. All right. So we're just going sideways here and going sideways here. We need to get a lower swing here and a lower swing here. You can see on the NQ, we're just going sideways too. All right. So what I just went over for, it's starting in live stream right now. We're up 52 on the NQ this morning, -1 on the Russell, plus 22 on crude, and plus 3 on the ES for 512.50 per contract on the morning session. Today it took 27 minutes and 9 trades to get to the goal for the day, and at that point we're up $1,000. We had 10 contracts on, and we took a total of 19 trades this morning. So right now, I'm pretty good not trading at all for the rest of the day, but we did commit to doing this. So if anybody's got any questions about anything, please feel free to ask your questions. If you want to see any symbols other than futures, I'm happy to look at those as well. Okay. The crude oil is the closest thing we have to a trade right now. All three of these indices are not going to give us anything until they move quite a bit in one direction or the other. Okay. So type in any symbol you want me to look at, just type it in, and I'll give you my opinion on it. If you do type in a symbol, tell us whether you want to day trade that symbol, or whether you want to swing trade it, or whether you want to invest in it. And we'll give you my full analysis of that symbol on whatever time frame you decide you want to do. I mean, what we use here, what we do in here, works on everything. Okay, I bump it over here. MAC. I don't remember what MAC was, but it's on a weekly chart. Somebody had to have asked me to look at that. And it's on a weekly chart. And I believe I said I wouldn't do anything with it. When it was over here, they asked about the weekly thing, and I said I believe I wouldn't do anything with it because you have higher lows and lower highs, and it's in a spot right now where it's going to break out of one way or the other. One way or the other before I trade it. But somebody asked me that one. I don't know. Let's look at Tesla. That seems to be a popular stock. We'll look at Tesla. Come on. There it goes. I don't know why that took so long. Okay, so we're on Tesla. We're not going to look at it on a weekly chart. We're going to look at Tesla on a 50 range. That means every bar is 50 cents. But you did see on the weekly chart how it had given us a trade, right? All right, so today, Tesla's been giving sell signals all day. Sell, 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 sell. That's in the 50 range. That means every bar is 50. So it started out right this morning, started out fresh this morning at the open. And it said to sell it here at 258. Right, so where is it now? So from 258, it got all the way down to 252. If you're day trading and you have 1,000 shares of this, or 2,000 shares, or 10,000 shares, that's a significant amount of money. If you have 100, it's not that big of a deal, but it is something. It's $8. So, I mean, it's $8 change, $8 change. But if you had 100 shares of it, it would be $800. That's Tesla. You can look at other things. You want to look at Apple? Anybody interested in Apple? I have no idea what Apple's doing. It's just something that's popping off the top of my head. I know what I'll do. All right, so this is what Apple looks like, but the opposite direction. So Apple was bullish right here. So if you bought Apple here when you got your first green arrow today, 935 was 170.50, and that ran up $6. So if you had 100 contracts, it's 600 bucks, 100 shares, you had 600 bucks, 1,000, 6,000 bucks. I was just going to go in here and look at what's moving in here, up or down. Right? I don't know if I can sort it by that. I can. Look, Snap. Let's look at Snap. 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 So Snap is only 11 bucks. So we're not going to be able to look at this on a 50 range. We'll look at this on like a 10 range. So every bar is 10 cents. Okay, every bar is 10 cents. Every bar is a dime. Looking in here, and still had no range today. Had no signals today. All right, so Snap's not a good one. Something bad. This is natural gas. How about AMD? AMD had a big move. That probably has that one. Look at that one. I think all of those right there we can look at. Let's look at Meta. Meta platforms. That has pretty good volatility, I think. Right? Yeah, 316. So with 316, you might not want to look at it on with a 50 range bar. You might want to look at it with a dollar range bar. Okay. Now the way that it started out with Meta, this is today. Let's look. Yeah, I'm going to look at it. This is a 10 range. That's ridiculous. I'm going to look at it on a 50 range. Start there and see what it says. Now I'm saying the larger range because we have, the dollar value is bigger. That's why I'm suggesting that. All right, so Meta at the beginning of the day, right in here, this was in the pre-market. Actually, right at the open, it gave these black arrows, and didn't really give anything, but it gave the first green arrow way over here at 321. And that, from 321, dropped all the way down here to 315 for another $6. All right, that's, again, if you have 100 shares, it's 600 bucks. If you have 1,000 shares, that's 6,000 bucks. But even on the way down, it gave pullbacks in all these pullback spots here. It gave you opportunities. Now that's on a 50 range. If you want to do this on a little bit bigger range, so each bar is $1, look at it here and see what that says. The same thing. And you selling up here at 325. I had you selling yesterday afternoon at 325 instead of this morning. This morning, you could have sold a bounce off the ribbon right here at 324. Either way, I had a better entry than the 50-cent range. That's what Meta looked like. So let's get AMD. AMD is probably enough volatility too, right? AMD. And no, AMD doesn't have enough, not for the dollar. We'll do AMD on the 25 range. Each bar is a quarter on this now. Each bar is a quarter. Okay, so it did give the short signal right in here earlier. 105.96, we'll say 106, and it's gone down roughly 50 cents. Not really a big mover and shaker today. The first sell signal it gave today was up here. That would have stopped you out because your stop would be about a bar and a half, right? So 75 cents is, well, with a quarter, I'm sorry, it would be about 45 cents. So it stopped you out right here. It went enough into profit to bump the stop to break even, went a full bar length to bump the stop to break even if you wanted to. Same thing over here. This would have just about stopped you out, not quite, and then it started moving down. So it would bump your stop to break even in here. Same thing in here, probably. But since then, gave this one long trade right here. I'd had a hard time taking that after everything moving down and just waiting for the green arrow. That was AMD. Nobody's asking me about any of the symbols. I'm gonna go back to the 4 here and see if we have any trade setting up. Let's see, on the Russell, we have a weekly trading zone right here. On the crude, we want to pull back and test the ribbon. We're almost there. We're almost to the point. Let's blow crude up and look at it a little better. See, we came off the ribbon right here. We didn't have an arrow, but we came off the ribbon. The reason we didn't have an arrow is because we didn't come out of the oversold. Right now, we are in the oversold. So I would say we've already hit the ribbon, so we don't have to have a green arrow now. We take a black arrow, and that's what we'll get here. If we got enough close on this bar and pulled it out of the oversold, we'd get a black arrow. I like this better now that it closed down like that. So what I'm going to look at right here, what I'm going to look for on the crude oil right now, below this bar is 18, so I'm going to buy 25 right there. Okay, because the high of that bar is going to close. Well, oops, I did the math wrong. 18. I should have been buying 26. But anyway, I'm in the trade. I was off by 1. Sorry, I'm in the trade exactly the right spot though. And this is where I wanted to be. The minimum that it should do is get up to 87.36. The pullback number on this, I'm not liking, well, the first pullback number is not bad. It's just 87.23. The next one down is 87.12. So it's possible it's going to pull back all the way down here to the ribbon and give us a green arrow. I went for the black arrow. I was being a little aggressive going for the black arrow, but if you wait for the green arrow, it might be coming up here soon. If it does come up, it's going to stop me out. If it doesn't, then we should run up through the high of the day right here. Okay. I just want to throw a trade on, so we have something going on here other than me talking about equities. Since nobody's asking about equities anyway. Is this in the right place? It's not. It needs to be right there. But I'm going to go back to the equities. All right, we'll leave that there and we can monitor that, but I'm going to go back to the equities. All right, actually, if we look at this right here, the NQ is about to give a short trade too. All right, so the crude trade is still alive. The NQ is about to give a short trade right here. It's not going to have an arrow because it's not in the overbought. Now it'll have an arrow. No, it's still not going to have an arrow because it's not in the overbought. It is a valid trade if it closes down on the NQ. Okay, get it down closer on the NQ. Back over here on the crude, it's almost hit the ribbon. If it does actually hit the ribbon, it's going to just barely hit it to give us that green arrow. It might stop me out to the tick. Okay, there on the NQ, it just gave the down close right in there. So that was an arrow trade. Now it didn't get into the overbought. Okay, so the crude is starting to go now. I'm going to bump my stop to break even on the crude. Glad we waited that out. And wait for the green arrow over here on the NQ. Right, that's about to come in. I ended up with a break even on the crude. And this has got to get into the overbought to give us that green arrow. It is a valid trade from here on the ribbon. Right, it is a valid trade from right there. So if you took it, your stop should be a break even right now. Let me go back here and see if anybody has made any comments in the live stream. I'm still trying to find it. There it is. No comments, no symbols requested. It's now 1:11. We have 19 minutes left of this session. All right, if you guys in the live stream, you want to see anything, any symbols other than the ones that I've already shown, then you should let me know. Okay. No, I didn't do this. Sorry. I was totally looking at this over here. Anyway, so there's a lot of red here today. A lot of red. Look at this. The VIX. The VIX is the big winner of the day. 18% change in the VIX. Gold is way up. You can see all that. JP Morgan, it's way up. Starbucks is up a little bit. What's JP Morgan look like? Let's do that one. JPM. Yes, I can, Gary. In just a minute, I'll look at it. Okay. Gary texted me. I want to see SPY. Okay, so JP Morgan had a short right here a little while ago. Had a short here earlier. Had a short over here earlier. Had a short here earlier. And JP Morgan is one of the gainers today. It had all those shorts. Okay, so before I had all those shorts, this was the open. So it must have had news today. They must have had earnings or something like that today, because this was the open.
I am astonished.
There were a bunch of black arrows and a couple of green arrows. All would have been profitable, right? And then it started turning around to retrace some of that. And you had some good shorting opportunities in there, and it's giving you one more shorting opportunity right here. How far is that going to go? I don't know. But Gary asked me to look at the SPY. Okay, so let's look at that. And we're going to look at this. I'm going to put this on not a 20 range, but I'm going to put it on the dollar. Okay. Wow. Okay, so let me shrink this up so you can see it. All right, so on the dollar range here, Gary. It's not really giving you anything. We didn't really put in a lower swing over here. You could have taken the bounce off the ribbon right here a little while ago, half hour ago, maybe an hour ago. Could have taken the bounce off the ribbon right there. If it puts in a lower swing here and it pulls back up, then I'd start looking at it. That's on the dollar range. If you want to look at it on the 50-cent range, you might have a better entry position here. Yeah, you see, we still want to get that lower swing here. Still want to get that lower swing, but then I'd be looking for a pullback up to the ribbon to short it up there. Okay, I know you're probably looking at it for options rather than day trading, but that's what I would think. Okay. And if we look at it on an even bigger time frame, let's look at it on a daily. Okay, on the daily, this is really bearish right here on the daily. We have 2 arrows right here, and it should send it all the way down here to 420. All the way down to 420 on a daily chart. Look at the, I'm going to crunch it up some more, and then crunch it up this way. In the bigger picture, this is a retracement of this big move up, but it's at a point right here where it should push down maybe one more leg. You know, if I do this, one more leg down, probably. I'll show you this thing right here, right? This is what I want to do. This thing right here. Come on, drop up there. Okay, I'm gonna pull it up just a little more. Okay, no, I guess it's done the 50% retracement. So it's done the 50% retracement of that big leg up. So right now in the scheme of things, bigger picture stuff. Up, down, up, right? That's what it should do. It may mess around here and it may drop back down here a little bit and consolidate in this area right here. But this is what it should do on the SPY. Right? And if we extrapolate that just a little bit more and go back to what I said in the last, when I started this whole thing 15, 20 minutes ago, and look at it, this bigger picture here. Now this is the NQ, but if you look at it on the ES and everything that I was saying this morning, the ES is here at the midpoint between these 2 weekly trading zones. It's here at the midpoint between these 2 weekly trading zones right now. All right. And it would not surprise me if the midpoint holds and it pushes it back up to the ribbon, which is right up here at 72. All right. I don't think it's going to have a big run going into the end of the day. The NQ, what we're just looking at there on the NQ, on the hourly chart, remember all the stuff that I was saying about that? We're down here right now. It went back up, hit this, so now we're down here. And what I was saying was down here is the bottom of the woo spot. And I expected a 50% bounce when we're in the woo spot, which we got, and now we're going back down from the woo spot. If we break down below this level right here, I said this morning, I pointed out these levels this morning. We're hitting this, after the fact. Then what was the level I put in down at the bottom? Way down here. So we'll see if that happens. I mean, right now, the next hour is going to be telling. At the end of the day today, there should be some pretty good action. The SPY, though, you asked me about the SPY, and the SPY is showing bearish right here. It's showing bearish, and it's showing that it should at least get down to the prior swing low. That's what the arrows are telling you right now. The bigger picture stuff is saying it's already done a 50% retracement. It could consolidate right here before it makes a decision. It could do 100% retracement, and if it does do 100% retracement, then you're looking all the way down here at 382. Okay. Thanks for that. Let me go back to 4 here for a second. While I was doing all that, we had a trade here, the trade there, nothing over here on crude. All right. Does anybody have any questions about any of that stuff? That's funny, Jill. I used your maiden name in the morning. You use your married name in here. Yeah, if anybody's got any questions about that, I'm happy to cover it. Otherwise, we have 12 minutes left. 12 minutes. There's another short right here on the ES. Where's my ES DOM? That should go back down to the midpoint right here. Okay. everything is suggesting it's going to move back down to the midpoint. And even the DOM is suggesting it's going to go through the midpoint. It's going to go through the low of the day. This is the low of the day, and it's also the midpoint between the weekly trading zones. But it's going to go through all that. I'm going to throw my stop at break even right now. It'll probably take me out of break even. But this one right here, you should ride all the way down to here to 51. Okay, if you're in it, just put a target down there at 51. That's where it's going. Okay. And nothing over here. I'll lock in a little bit on this because it costs me $50 every time I place a trade. So we are at break even right there, and we're in a weekly. I'm sorry, we're not break even. We're in a weekly trading zone. There must be a weekly trading zone right there. I don't know why it's only showing one thing, but we're at a weekly trading zone here on the Russell as well. All right, Gary, was that good information for you with the SPY? That help? Angel, did you ever get back to me? No, you did not get back to me. So that last message. All right, so route was just to take care on the yes, but I'll draw that level there for you because that's where it's going. Right there. Right, yeah, 51 is where it's going, actually, 51. So my order sitting there. I guess I should cancel that. All right, more questions? Anybody? Anybody? EFG. Guy must be watching YouTube. That's why he's not in here, but he's texting me on my phone. Or he could be watching. Now that I think about it, he could be watching the live stream too. Totally forgot about that. All right, if you are watching in the live stream, I didn't even go over this, and you haven't taken a free trial with us, go here to mytradingiq.com, sign up for the free trial right here. And when you sign up for the free trial, you get sent to this page. Okay, you are on YouTube, okay. When you sign up for the free trial, you get sent to this page right here. All right, we don't ask for any credit card information or anything like that. What we do ask is for your TradingView username right here, your login ID, the thing that comes up over here. For me, it says logged in to CFRN. For you, it's going to say logged in to something else. We do ask for that. If you give us that, we'll be able to enable the indicators on your desktop for you, and you'll have them all weekend and all of next week. Okay. So if you like what you see and you're serious about trading and changing the rest of your life, then do that. Take the free trial. It really is free. So now it's 122. 122. We're in a no trade zone here on the ES. I'm surprised we didn't keep going down. But again, you know what I was showing you on the SPY. We're at a potential place right now. We did a 50% retracement, and we're at a place there where it could continue the move up, right, and break the swing high on the SPY. Go back to that. That was right here. Right. Could break this prior swing high, which is right here at 59, right? 459. If it fails here, and the indicators are suggesting it's going to fail right here, I would look for it to get below 420, and then once it gets below 420, it's got a huge ride down after that. Right, to do the 100% retracement. So the indicators suggest you should short here, at least down to here. Okay, did I get into any trade here? Let me see. That's moving down, that's moving down, that's moving down. Did I put any trade? No, I don't have any trades. Okay. We did have a nice trade there, though, on the Russell coming out of the zone. Right, we're going into the zone there, so I didn't want to do it, but that one right there would have been a good one coming out of the zone. You wanted to put in a lower swing. If it puts in lower swing, we can get the next pullback on that. All right. Does anybody have any questions about this stuff? Yeah, let's bring this out a little. You can see it a little better. Great, Jill. Now shut it off, Jill. Shut it off. Did Shoshona's house get blown down? She didn't show up at all today. She's still without internet. Oh, good. Okay. 6:02, so that's 9:02 my time. Good. Is she still without it? Look up her account on T-Mobile and see if it's covered in T-Mobile. If the town is covered with T-Mobile, she should go get the T-Mobile thing. Yeah, well, that's even better for T-Mobile because it's satellite. I should get T-Mobile should give me something for saying all that. That's my backup, really. It's T-Mobile. I have 2 networks in my house, and the T-Mobile one's always working. The other one that costs a lot more money is not always working. You know, the T-Mobile, they give you a little satellite box. What town does she live in, Jill? You can text it to me. All right, so we're still waiting for everything to give us some sort of a trade. Okay, that's funny. We're still waiting for everything to give us a trade here. We want a lower swing here on the Russell. We're getting a lower swing here. We're getting a lower swing there. That's funny. It's funny because I was chosen to be best man at a friend of mine's wedding. His last name is Nino, and he's from that same town. 30 years ago. I wonder how that's doing now. Anyway, on the crude oil, we're just going sideways here. It's flat. On the Russell, we have bearish separation. It's running down. And we're getting a pullback here on the NQ. We might get another trade here on the NQ, but I want to have a green arrow there. The SPY is working its way down, Gary. It's working its way down slowly. Right? If we look at the big picture stuff that I was looking at a minute ago with everyone, we're still going down here. We're still going down. And the woo spot kind of ends right here. But I think we're going to have a wick that gets all the way down here. By the end of the day, we'll have a wick that gets all the way down there. I might have a green arrow on this. I want this to pull back and give us an opportunity to enter, and this to pull back and give us an opportunity to enter. We have nothing over there on the crude. And now we're down to a minute and a half. Let me go over here and see, did anybody ask me anything in the live stream today? I don't think so. Nope. Nobody asked me anything in the live stream. Again, for those of you guys in the live stream, if you like what you see and you want to have access to the indicators, all you have to do is go to mytradingiq.com, click this button, fill out this form. There's no credit card, and you'll get access to the indicators over the weekend. All right. So it doesn't look like I get a pullback here. I don't think it's going to happen. We will see. I'm sure T-Mobile has coverage where she lives. I probably don't even need to look, right? 85.0 down to 81. 81 on the NQ right now. Come on, give me the fill. All right, well, the entry point was right here at 81 on the NQ, and I didn't get filled. I put it on just a second too late, and I missed it. Now it's got a lower swing, and it's pulling back up. That would have been the last trade. That would have been when it just got us 30 ticks right there. But it is what it is. I missed it. If it comes back, it'll get me again. It'll give me another shot at it anyway. But I have to wrap this up because I have another meeting coming up. So you guys that are in the live stream, I've already shown you how to take the free trial. All you have to do is go here to mytradingiq.com, click on this. It's going to bring you to this page. Fill out the form. When you fill out the form, right here, give us the TradingView login ID. Okay. Give us that information right there, and we'll set your indicators up for you over the weekend, all the way into next week. Other than that, I am going to have to sign off from the live stream, and we all have a great weekend. Okay, the live stream has ended, and now I can pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park.
Alrighty, recap of the morning session.
Oh, I think today it took 27 minutes and 9 trades to get to $1,000.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good job. All right, guys, remember to become a lifetime member. No recurring fees, no upsells, and no nonsense. Just go here, eminifuturestrading.com. When you go there, you'll get a pop-up. Just click that, and then one more mouse click, and you are a member for life. Now, there's no disclaimer, there's no fine print, there's no asterisk. When we say lifetime, my life or yours, whichever runs out first. And when we say unlimited one-on-one private mentoring sessions, we actually mean unlimited. There's no caveat. When you need help, we're there. You get around-the-clock support via Telegram, 2 hours and 15 minutes of live training and live markets every trading day. 9:15 a.m. Eastern to 11:30 a.m. Eastern. 9 out of 10 new traders fail simply because they have no one to teach them how to do the job. No matter what career path you choose in life, you're going to need somebody to teach you how to do the job. Trading is no different. However, because trading has such a low barrier to entry, put some money in an account and poof, I'm a trader. Yeah. No license required. Don't have to take any classes or courses. And that's why so many people end up not succeeding. So we make sure that you have support around the clock, 2 hours and 15 minutes of live training every trading day, and unlimited access to one-on-one private mentoring. The strategy you learn is fluid across all markets and all time frames. The indicators that you own for life as a passport holder, fluid across all markets and all time frames. Futures, stocks, crypto, forex, ETFs, doesn't matter. Because price flows the same across all markets and all time frames. You won't hear that many places because that would reduce the amount of stuff they can sell you. We just have one thing, the passport. It's the all access pass to everything we do, everything we've ever done, and whatever we do in the future, without you having to ever spend another dime with us. Emini, futurestrading.com. If you have questions, call 949-42-EMINI or email us support@cfrn.net. As a passport holder, you'll also receive the Logic 247 alerts, the concierge trade alerts, the weekly trading zones, and of course you'll be able to attend the members only workshop every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. So let's wrap this week up with our good word for the day. Pray for wisdom. When King Solomon ascended to the throne, God said to him, "Ask, what shall I give you?" That's 2 Chronicles 1:7. Now, imagine this. Solomon was given carte blanche by the one in whose dictionary the word impossible doesn't exist. But there was a catch. God was testing Solomon to find out what was really in his heart. An arrogant person would have asked for fame. A worldly person would have asked for wealth. A self-seeking person would have asked for power. What did Solomon ask God for? Wisdom. So God granted Solomon's request and gave him something more gratifying than fame, more extravagant than wealth, and more thrilling than power. As it turned out, all the material blessings Solomon enjoyed were byproducts of the gift of wisdom. Theologian and author Hugh Black wrote this: "Tell me your dreams, and I will tell you the riddle of your life. Tell me your prayers, and I will write the history of your soul. Tell me your askings, and I will tell you your gettings. Tell me what you seek, and I will tell you who you are. I do not wish to know your possessions, only your wants. I do not care to know what you have, only what you have not and desire to have. Not your attainments, but what you have not yet attained and follow after. That which comes to you in your victories by day and your dreams by night, the ideal you set before you, the things you approve as excellent, what you seek after and have given your heart to. These are the measures of the man. So, pray for wisdom." Part 1. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading E-mini futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.